Georgia Republican Congressman. Rich McCormick, he is a Republican from the great state of, by the way, also an ER physician in a former life, with us tonight here on the Hill. Congressman, doctor, thank you, sir. Put on your doctor's hat for a second. I normally have you on here for the politics stuff, but put on the doctor's hat. What excites you about this? And also, conversely, are there any worries, anything that worries you on this?
I mean, it's good that America is paying attention to their health. Obesity's really endemic here in America. I mean, think about it, 40%. That's almost half of America is obese. That means we have a lot of problems in the way we eat and the way we exercise. And I'll tell you, as a guy who used to be a personal trainer, if you want to be fit, don't just rely on a shot or a pill. I mean, it's a bad habit. You're going to lose muscle mass. You're going to lose vascularity. You're going to lose the effects of cardiovascular health when you just rely on a shot or a drug of some sort. You got to get out there and do the work. You got to get out there and walk. You got to find something you can do every day for exercise. There's no replacement in a drug for that. So I hope people don't get too reliant on it, because it'll drive what you eat. When you actually are active, you'll have a different desire for different foods. That's just the way you're physiologically programmed. I'm glad we're bringing down the drug prices, but quite frankly, it's still more expensive than it is overseas. And we have a lot of other drugs that are unaffordable. And quite frankly, a lot of people can't even afford $150 per month for this drug.
Yep.
It is.
And then there's a question, Congressman, about if the argument is if you use this, you are healthier, and if you are healthier, then then the healthcare costs come down, whether or not Medicaid should be paying for this. And right now, there's a handful of states all across the country, more than that, close to 10, in which it's covered. And it is in red states politically, it's in blue states politically, it's in purple states politically. What about the concept, it's not there in Georgia, where you're sitting live tonight, what about the concept of maybe having Medicaid pick up the tab here?
This is what I love about Medicaid. Medicaid, you get to compare and contrast different states and see who does it better. That's why I don't think the federal government should be involved in Medicaid. It was never meant to be. This way you get to see which states are doing it right, who's doing the most effective health care, the way they're delivering it, the way it's accessible, how you deliver drugs, and you get to actually weigh and see who actually is saving money and getting healthier, and then you copy the best program. I don't think there should be a one-size-fits-all. I'm not a guy who believes that the federal government should be driving this. I think each state should be in charge of Medicaid, not only in the way they deliver it, but also in the way they pay for it. It's a bad habit to get the federal involvement going. Now we're paying about 80% on at least 5 states of the bill. We've gone from 1/3 of all spending of the government has been from the federal now to 2/3. We're on a spiral we're not going to be able to recover from.
On the health front, Congressman, we'll go from the doctor to the congressman front. Day 37 of the government shutdown. And one of the potential ways out of this is it seems, is a longer-term, short-term spending deal, maybe say through the end of January, and then giving Democrats the vote that they want on the Affordable Care Act subsidies. If that's sort of the construct of how this could end this shutdown, would you be in favor of that?
Well, it's very funny. First of all, realize the Freedom Caucus is now asking for a year-long CR, and the Democrats are trying to shut down the government over CR on funding that they voted for in the first place. This is the weirdest year ever in politics. But quite frankly,
your words, not mine.
It's just crazy. But quite frankly, if you look, yeah, of course we need to open up the government. The fact of the matter is the Democrats shut down the government for a clean CR, which has never been done in the history of this great nation, for the longest period of time that's ever been done in this great nation.
I know, and that's what your side of the aisle has been saying, and I get it. But what about moving forward now? Like, is that the way out?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to, I mean, this is all things healthcare, by the way. Pay attention to who's donating to who. And when the healthcare industry is making 230% more in profits than they did before the Affordable Care Act, is the subsidies really for the American people, or is it for the insurance companies? Because quite frankly, every year you get an increase in your premiums anyways, even when it was subsidized in COVID. Who's going to pay for this? It's not free. When you say government subsidies, when you talk about $1.5 trillion, who pays for that? People think it's just printed out of thin air. Your kids will pay for that. This is supposed to be state-run. This is supposed to be responsible. When insurance companies are making 230% more than they made before the Affordable Care Act, and you want to increase government spending, which is going to pad their pocketbooks, then they're going to give money to certain politicians who love to do that sort of thing and make more money, pay attention, because there's 2 senators in Georgia who get some of the best money from the insurance lobbyists and the pharmaceutical companies in the whole nation, and they're voting against freeing up this government.
I'll end with this. If that's sort of the construct of the deal, would you vote for it?
I'm fine with that. We're going to have to come to the table and do it anyways. I don't even know why we're in a shutdown, because we're going to have to address healthcare. But the question we need to also talk about is, should we subsidize insurance companies? Because it's run through insurance companies, guys. Look at who the top 4 out of the 10 companies in the Fortune 500 are either insurance or pharmaceuticals. 7 of the top 20. Making record profits. Don't think this is just about the average citizen here in America. This is about big business.
Rich McCormick, Republican there in Georgia, doctor as well, as I mentioned, with us tonight. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.